Tonight's meeting is for the City Council Nonprofit Organization Subcommittee. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Council Getchia.
Here.
Council Noon.
Here.
Council Robinson.
Here.
3 present.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The first order of business scheduled was for the presentation from Habitat for Humanity regarding potential housing creation opportunities in our city. And the second order of business was for the Coalition for a Better Acre for an introductory conversation. But unfortunately, there were a scheduling conflict with the CBA, and we'll schedule him at a future meeting, subcommittee meeting. So we're going to start off with Habitat for Humanity, but before I go into that, we're going to talk about what the future holds for this subcommittee, and I'll allow Councilor Robinson or Councilor Noon to start off. Councilor Robinson.
Thank you, Chair Getchia. I think this is a unique opportunity to bring in periodically members of the nonprofit sector for communications and to get an idea of what their goals are, objectives, their current vision, and what their future vision is with the city and Lowell in a partnership. So I think this is a great platform to start really working through some of these potential opportunities to improve the quality of life in different projects that pop up in the community. I was put in contact with Habitat for Humanity, and I got to have a lengthy conversation with some of the administrative team, and so pretty much I think their presentation tonight touches on a lot of the things that this council and this administration has been striving to accomplish with the community and for the community. So I'm looking forward to the conversation, and I think, it's a matter of connecting the dots, because we have so many people that are doing so many great things, and sometimes a simple conversation at the table for everybody involved is all it takes to really spark something that leads to a productive project.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Councilor Noon?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Councilor Robinson is correct. I'm very happy that you, Mr. Chairman, called this meeting of the nonprofit. And as we said it all the time, when we have issue with housing, with homeless, with so many other issues in the city, we are working with our partners and nonprofit. For tonight, you have Habitat for Humanity, CBA. You look at Habitat for Humanities over the years. They have built many homes for many families in Lowell. They have completed close to 100 repair for local seniors, veterans, and those who are disabled. And they have also engaged in hundreds of volunteers every year who contributes to many hours. And they also team up too with the youth bill. To build home. If you just recently, they team up to rebuild the softball field dugout in McPherson Park. So those are the work that this nonprofit have done. If you look at CBA, they are really play a big role in the acres in terms of housings and social service. And again, they're bringing people together to build the community and make it safer and for everyone. So, I know that if we keep this meeting go on, in terms of continue this conversation with all this nonprofit, we'll learn more of what they do, so that our residents know what are the criteria for, for selection for a remodeling home that Habitat for Humanity will do. I mean, what are the criteria for selection? What are criteria for, if CBA, if CTI, what are criteria to apply for heating assistance, and so on and so forth. Those are the things that some of our residents do not know, and this kind of meeting bring out those information. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor Noon, and I agree with both of you. As we start going through all of the amazing things that we're seeing done by the nonprofits, I think it's a good segue into how do we finance it, what is the projections needed, how do we get to the place in our community and have some kind of planning going forward. I think if we look at the Boys and Girls Club, their investment currently in the city and what they're trying to build down there for our youth, and see that come off and watch all the great things going on there. We're looking at, we got the Workforce Center and the Career Center outside, right, currently showing off a wonderful van that they built that can come to neighborhoods and offer resume services and other services to residents that maybe not have the opportunity to get to a certain location. So I think when you start looking around at the Lowell Transitional Living Center, if we had more knowledge and had them come up here and state, what do they offer? What are the issues? How do we get to these places? I think that that's really what is engaging for many of our residents. We also have Megan's House, who treats, the dependency that's going on in our community. There are so many different nonprofits in our city that we look at. We have CTI, who is offering housing and vouchers for housing, and they're trying to help. You have the Lowell Housing Authority that we could have in here also and say, okay, what is it that, how does a person get on your list and how do they get into rentals? I think that this is a subcommittee that may have been underutilized through the years, and if we're going to plan and we're going to, hand out, we should have a criteria set for how do we get to there, and do we budget enough or do we budget too much? Do we account for the funding and where it goes, and what is our standards for production out of the money that we're spending, or do we just hand it off and say, okay, this sounds like it gives us that feel-good moment rather than having it outcome-based? And I think those are the questions that all of us have when we see speakers up here and they do unbelievable presentations. So why is this not in our community? How come people don't know about what's going on? When you work for the city, as I had, you can see all of these organizations and what they do because you end up getting a call there, or there's some kind of other issue. But, we have some amazing nonprofits in our city, and I think it's time that we start to highlight what they do. And that's really what these meetings will be called on. We'll try to do them once a month. Currently, we're just waiting for Habitat for Humanity just to set up their presentation, so there'll be a few minutes. So we can, if we could take a 5-minute recess, Mr. Clerk, and then come back to this, that would be appropriate at this time while they try to get set up. Would I have a motion to take a 5-minute?
Motion to recess.
By Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Noon. Mr. Clerk?
5-minute recess.
5-minute recess.
5 minutes. No need roll call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It never is.
What's that?
You think of one thing, another thing always comes up.
That's it.
People online, no.
No. I got a new Zoom. Fucking.
Yeah, if your presenters don't get here and they cancel like the day of, like the CBA guy, then it's,
Are they out there?
Probably contact them
late.
yesterday or something, you know.
Who's coming in for these guys?
Habitat for Humanity.
You got a name?
Sharing something? I don't know. I know that Dan Rivera is supposed to be for CBA, the complex, scheduled complex or something.
He's the interim, right?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be,
You gonna get the job?
whether he want it or not, you know?
Yep.
He'd probably say, yeah, I want it, but a little more money, please. And they're gonna give me that.
He's always got good hands. There has to be other feelings too. Just to write. Tell me what I'm supposed to be. I know. This is like the biggest treat in the world. When I come to school committee, that's all he feeds me all night. Our old city councilor. Yeah.
TV guy, to watch the TV later. And Brown.
Now when I need a screwdriver, I'm going.
Huh? No. Belanger? Robinson? No, I'm not talking about Corey Belanger. I'm talking about Corey Robinson.
Okay. No problem. What's better for you guys? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Could we do a roll call, please?
That was a 15-minute break.
President needed yogurt. Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Counsel Getchia.
Here.
Counsel Noon.
Yeah.
Counsel Robinson.
Here.
3 present.
Welcome, Sheila, to our council chambers, and we look forward to hearing your presentation on Habitat for Humanity. So you can take over. All you got to do is just state your name and where you're from and press that mic. It'll go green in a circle, and it'll be all good.
There we go.
Take it away.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for having me this evening. My name is Shayla Carlisle. I'm a fairly new executive director to Habitat for Humanity of Greater Lowell. But I come to this affiliate after working for 4 years with an affiliate in South Carolina. It was called Sea Island Habitat for Humanity. We built about 10 homes per year, and we did about 100 critical home repairs in the community. And so I took all that experience and learning that I had with them, and now moved back to my home state of Massachusetts. I'm very excited to be home and excited to share the knowledge I gained with this Habitat affiliate. This is just one of 16 habitats in Massachusetts, but we cover the Lowell and Greater Lowell area. We have 16 different towns that we serve in the surrounding community. And if you, a lot of folks are familiar with the name Habitat for Humanity, but they don't necessarily know what we do. Our focus is primarily home ownership and affordable home ownership. So we do a couple things in the community. We build new homes and we repair existing homes to maintain the affordable housing stock that's already here in the community. And we do that through our new builds, but also through our critical home repair program. And one of the things our board is really excited about in the coming years is to grow. We realize there's a huge affordable housing need in our community. And so we're really excited and eager to expand and hopefully build more homes and repair more homes in the coming years. One of the ways that we do that is through partnering with different municipalities in the area. And so our board is also really excited to hopefully be back building in Lowell in the near future. So it's been a number of years since we built here. Right now we have 3 projects ongoing. We have one in Bedford, Mass, which is a rehab. We have a project in Westford, Mass, which we're renovating an 1865 barn and turning it into 2 condos. And then we have an upcoming project in Concord, Mass, where the town has gifted us a lot. And we're going to go in and do the full-scale development of 3 new houses. So Habitat has the capacity to do renovations, full new builds from the ground up. We do all the site work and development. We have a very skilled director of construction. His name's John Maslowski, and he's experienced with all kinds of different building and renovation projects. And that is the neat thing about Habitat, is we act as the builder. We also act as the mortgage holder. So once those homes are built, we sell them through a 30-year zero-interest mortgage, and that's how we keep homes affordable for the families that purchase them. They have to be families that qualify. We do work with folks at the 80% and below area median income. Yeah, there's all kinds of things that we'd love to do in this community. We'd love to partner in any way possible. We're excited about just expanding the potential of home ownership for our local community members.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. I think, as we mentioned at the beginning of the subcommittee, I think this is an amazing opportunity to partner with an amazing organization that's doing a lot of work in the Merrimack Valley and the surrounding area. I don't know if the listeners at home, viewers at home, understand, but as was mentioned, Habitat has a program where they're the builders, they raise the funding, and they offer 30-year zero-interest mortgages that Habitat holds, which is unheard of. To me, we discuss a lot about creating affordable home ownership in the city we all know that the inventory is depleted. We need to increase inventory, and I think this is yet another valuable, very valuable option that we can lean in on and partner with. In the future, I'm hopeful. And so I think a big part of inviting Habitat and Shayla in was to get this information out there. So when projects pop up and lots and parcels pop up, this is a strong consideration. I mean, it's a win-win for the community, because especially with the climate nowadays, a builder comes in, purchases a property, they have to put their own resources, whatever lending streams or financial streams they have at their disposal, into it. And then they have to bring it to market for market rate, which then, as a first-time home buyer or a renter or any of those things, that's what we're hearing a lot for, nationwide. I mean, its market rate is not affordable for anybody nowadays, it seems like. And so this is an opportunity to create housing that is capable of coming to market below market rate, as well as offering incentives where 30 years, zero interest on a property. Like, I think it's great, and thank you and your organization, and I myself am sold on this model, and I would love to see what opportunities present themselves in the near future and in any which way we can help. Thank you.
Councilor Noon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So thank you, Sheila, for being here. The focus of Habitat for Humanities is exactly what City of Lowell and some of our partners, as well as CTI, CBAs, and so many other organizations trying to do to build the housing stock for the cities, home ownership and affordable housing. You indicated that, over the years, the Habitat for Humanities have built a number of home and repair or renovated, a number of homes, as well as partner with other individuals and organizations to build or repair those homes. When you do home building and or home repair, I know you mentioned that you have builders, but those builders do need volunteers to help and making basically directing the volunteers what to do and how to do and stuff like that. So how do you recruit the volunteers? And over the years, how many volunteers have you recruited?
Oh my gosh, great question. So that is one of the unique things about the Habitat model is what we call partner building. So when a family is selected for a Habitat home, they have to put in a certain number of sweat equity hours and actually help build their own house. But along with that comes the support of community members. Sometimes it's companies, sometimes it's churches, sometimes it's local civic groups that come together to actually partner with that homeowner to build the house. Because we do have staff members that are highly qualified at leading volunteers, all of our homes are to the top quality that any for-profit builder you would find. I think I would argue that it's better in some ways because there's a lot of love and dedication and time that pours into these houses. We make sure that they're sustainable, that they're energy efficient so that the power bills will stay low for homeowners over time. But the recruitment piece, it's really just connecting with the community and asking folks to chip in time or resources towards the project. We do allow groups to come out. Sometimes it's just individuals that sign up. But that volunteering piece is also how we keep costs down. And then all of the savings we pass on to the homeowner. Then through their 30-year mortgage, that funding gets recycled back into more affordable housing. So it's a very cyclical and sustainable model of building houses, but it really is all of that. It's the concept of partner building that we focus on.
Could you tell us a little more about the criteria for selection, either be a home ownership and or remodeling home? I know that something to do with you is for local senior citizen or veteran and stuff like that. So what are those criteria? Say viewer at home said, how do I apply, for a home ownership with the Habitat for Humanity, or how do I get them to, I want an additional room for my family, but I can't afford it. How can I get your organizations to build that additional home? A
couple different things. Through our homeownership partner family selection process, we do follow all of the state guidelines when it comes to affordability and choosing a family. We look at things like need. Do they, can they exhibit? I think pretty much everybody in Massachusetts can exhibit a financial need for housing because it is expensive to live here. We do look, because we are lending and we act as the mortgage holder, we do make sure that they can actually afford the mortgage too. We want to set them up for success. So we focus on folks that are in the 30 to 60% area median income, and then we set the house price accordingly to make sure that they're going to be able to afford that mortgage over time. And for Habitat in particular, we do focus on that sweat equity piece and making sure they really know that this is a partnership. Sometimes folks think, oh, it's just a free house and it's Habitat and they're going to come in and gift you. It is not. Habitat homeowners are so hardworking. They put in so many hours of sweat equity. They're actually purchasing the home. They have to go through financial literacy and homeownership courses to become qualified. So we're really setting them up to be successful homeowners in the future. As far as the critical home repair program goes, we have kind of a different set of qualifications for those homeowners. It's folks who would not otherwise be able to complete the repair, and we do look at things like income to make sure that they're really in need of the repair, but we have a separate application process for that.
Well, thank you for all that you and your team have done. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
I just want to acknowledge that Councilor Belanger is in the chamber, and Councilor Yem is also here, and Councilor Mercier is also here, and she has a I voted button on. So, and Councilor Dakota just came in. So you have the majority of the council here for your presentation, which is very good. I just want to highlight a couple of things, as you already did. You say the financial education, which is an important piece to even being solvent. You just don't give something away and say, okay, here is no path to success. You actually have an education piece on that. Could you outline what that piece is and how does that work?
Yeah, we partner with different nonprofits in town. Some habitats do it differently. They have in-house training they do. We partner with a couple different organizations to get folks ready for home ownership. Some of it is the financial side, so making sure they're getting ready budgeting-wise, that they understand what their escrow account means, what that looks like, what things they need to save and prepare for, making sure they have a rainy day fund set aside, just getting them really ready to be homeowners. There also is a piece that we're hoping to add this upcoming year related to condo association or homeowners association, so that folks are really prepared and understand what it means to be in a COA or an HOA, and what types of responsibilities that has as well, just to get them ready to make sure they're abundantly prepared. It's a steep learning curve. I'm sure if anybody here is a homeowner, the first time you buy, it's a lot of stuff that you had no idea about before you got started. So we really make sure that they're ready.
I think one of your mission statements is removing systematic barriers. I think that's an important piece, and that's what we all look for in inner city, especially Lowell. That's what we get a lot of calls from residents about is, how do we afford this? How do we do these things? And I think that that's a key piece to what your organization does, and the outreach piece would be very effective for the city to be able to outreach into some of the neighborhoods, and to maybe even to our library bookmobile, or into, we just saw there's a workforce mobile outside that maybe you could come in and work with them and say, okay, that we want to give the education at some of these events also, like we always have career days and career centers. I think those are important to have somebody there who's going to give people. Financial literacy in this country is so far under where it should be, and I think that that's the key. That's one of the drivers that keeps people from the separation gap between the middle class and the very wealthy, is how they utilize their money and their funding at the time that they can take those opportunities to take chances. Do you go and pay down your mortgage when you have a certain percentage, or do you hold it and invest it? There's a gap there that happens. Those are all good things that if we can drive those into people to think about, I think that they could understand that maybe, the vacation trip, they shouldn't run through a second mortgage. Maybe they should wait till they can afford it to actually go.
Yeah.
And I think that those are the questions when you use your credit card and stuff. And I think that that's what you're saying on your financial education piece. I think that that's important, but also your disaster response is really well. And I don't think we highlighted on that either. So not only do you come into a community and build something, but you become part of that community. And I think that revitalization, and, we've had a fire just, not that long ago that separated multiple families from their homes. And that would be something that if we got engaged in this process very well at the beginning, that we could maybe, and if you want to highlight some of those things on the disaster stuff, but over, 40 years ago, you had a president join. I mean, that's just amazing. And you look in 1976, when he first was elected, that's when your program became Habitat for Humanity. And he bought in, and over the time, 59 million people, you improved their living conditions since 76. So that just tells you a statement what you could help us with in the city of Lowell, where we're 115,000. I think it's an extremely valuable thing to get out there in partnership with and try to say, okay, because we always can use people who can help. And if you just want to elaborate on some of your disaster response stuff and what you do for communities in revitalization.
Yeah, so we are very lucky. As I mentioned, we're just one affiliate in the Habitat for Humanity network. So we do all of our fundraising locally. We write grants. We have individuals that support our efforts, companies that support us. But we are very lucky to be tied into the Habitat for Humanity International Network. And we can go and pull all the best practices of what other communities across the United States and across the world are doing and implementing that's working. And so there are plenty of communities that are focusing on disaster response where we would love to be doing more of that here to make sure that we're really stepping up to that need when folks hit a time of crisis related to housing. That's something that we'd love to be involved in. I will say that we had, to touch on that information piece, just recently, since my time with this organization, we had 3 information sessions about homeownership in the community and what we're bringing and kind of what we offer. And one of them, we had one in Bedford, one in Westford, and one here at the library in Lowell. And the one in Lowell was the most well-attended. The room was packed. Folks were asking for information. They wanted to know. And I think that's something that we could continue to do in the community to really offer some insight into, the benefits of homeownership and how folks can reach that milestone and achieve that dream of homeownership. So, we do really love to partner with communities, and it is a massive network of folks across the country working with Habitat. And but again, all of the funding that we raise locally here stays in the community. I think sometimes there's sort of this idea that we're linked to this huge, massive nonprofit and we have unlimited resources. We are responsible here for raising funds in this community and then keeping funds in this community. So all of the money that we're raising is staying here within our area.
You're the start of what we're going to try to do over the next year or so, is bring in one nonprofit once a month and try to engage and try to get information out and try to see what is valuable and how do we make it work within, so that, as counselors, we here usually get, when we somehow get an interaction with someone, we get that, but we're trying to step up that. So I thank you for coming out. Councilor Belanger?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Some great points tonight by the subcommittee. But thank you for coming in, Sheila. I'm all too familiar with Habitat for Humanity. I had a previous tenure on the council, and they did a number of homes, a handful of homes from 2014 to 2017. I couldn't be more pleased. The best way I would describe the organization is you are the premier organization to, as far as achieving affordable home ownership, I believe, in the country, as the chairman alluded to, your history. And I've seen it firsthand. So we need to get you more active here in Lowell, okay? I mean, we're not Concord. We're land poor, so we're probably not going to have swaths of land where you can build houses, but we do have properties we acquire through tax title or whatever it may be that are very appropriate for what we're trying to achieve in the city as far as affordable home ownership, and you would be the perfect fit. So we'd like to see you get more engaged. So with that being said, Mr. Chairman, I think it's important that we link Sheila up with planning and development, that they sit down and get to know one another, and so that Sheila's organization is very much on the radar at DPD. So I think that's very important. So, but thank you for bringing her in tonight. It's a great call. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Belanger. We should take a motion to have the manager sit down with you. I think that and DPD, and I think that's really the place to go, is start with this manager or whoever he selects to sit down and start the conversation and move from there. So if one of the...
I'd like to make the motion to ask the city manager to facilitate a sit-down meeting with his administration and see how any potential partnership opportunities.
Second. Roll call, Mr. Clerk. On the motion?
Counsel Getchia.
Yes.
Counsel Noon. Yes. Counsel Robinson.
Yes.
3 yeas.
Does anybody else have anything? Councilor Robinson.
Thank you. Would you mind just briefly mentioning at least how people can actually website or get in contact for more information that might be watching this, as well as we have some great volunteer-based organizations like the Lowell Litter Crew. They do a lot of work. And the gentleman that established and came up with the concept of the Lowell Litter Crew is they've currently been shouldering such a heavy load of picking up litter, volunteering and cleaning multiple areas in the city. But ultimately, the gentleman that established its goal is to create a broad network of volunteers, period, whether you're into construction, you like going out and cleaning, it could be even working at different fairs and events that the city's having. Whatever your passion for volunteerism is, he's been actively building a database, and I think that might be another good organization to have a conversation with as well.
That's great. Yeah, we love any neighborhood cleanups or neighborhood revitalization that can happen. That's wonderful. Our website is lowellhabitat.org. There is a link there to sign up for volunteer opportunities. We offer volunteer opportunities on our job site, which folks will actually be able to swing a hammer, learn how to use power tools. They walk away with incredible skills after volunteering. We do also have our Restore in North Billerica, and folks can volunteer there as well. And yeah, we love getting people involved and connecting with others in the community.
Do you have any current projects that you want to highlight in the area? Do you have anything in Lowell?
Nothing in Lowell at the moment. We'd love to be.
But do you have any others in like the Merrimack Valley that you'd like to highlight?
We have our project in Bedford right now that's nearing its completion, and we're nearing a family selection for that home, actually, which is very exciting. That's the best part of the job, right? When you actually are selecting these families that are going to be moving into these homes, it's really great. It's also the hardest part of the job because you realize there's so many families that are deserving of homes, and they really are ready. They're ready to be homeowners. They want to be homeowners. But we are excited that quickly on the heels of that project in Bedford, we have 2 condos that will be done pretty quickly in Westford, in a beautiful historic barn, but inside it'll be all completely modern and updated condos. There'll be 3-bed, 2 baths. And then very soon we'll be kicking off this project in Concord, which will be 3 single-family homes coming online. After that, we've got a project, we think, in North Reading. We have some lots in Dracut. There's all kinds of things in the works, and we're really working hard to be building more quickly so we can get more folks the opportunity of homeownership. But we'd love to have more partnership and more opportunities in Lowell too. So.
Would you like to take on Smith Baker?
Please do.
I'm only kidding. Hold your thought process. No.
Our director of construction has been asking about that. He's like, how do we get that property? I will say,
We'll give it to you for $1.
I will say that our organization, if we were to take, I don't know that we'd be ready to take on the full thing today, but if we were to do it in coalition with a for-profit developer and there was a way to partner and create an opportunity, we'd be really open to
That may be an excellent
potential.
Conversation for you with the manager when you get the opportunity. So if you want to just say the website one more time and then.
Yep, it's just lowellhabitat.org, and we'd welcome anyone, signing up for a volunteer day and coming out to help us build.
On behalf of my colleagues and myself and the rest of the City Council, we thank you for coming out. I think it's a very interesting thing. As Council Belanger had said in the past, we've had unbelievable partnerships, so we need to get back to it. With that being said, I'll take a Motion to adjourn from Counselor Noon.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Robinson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, of course.